Hey again, guys. Appreciate you joining me again for another episode of High Caliber Carpentry. So, been working on some projects here recently, and I wanted to share a few of them with you. I've got 6 lined up for us to check out right now. I'm showing you one of my smallest ones that I've done, or not the smallest, but the one that I'll show you in this video. What this is, it's a display cabinet, and my brother-in-law requested this so that we could build one for his display necessities that he's for the things that he's collected over his time in the National Guard. And I'd like to show you a little bit about what it looks like. Not spending an incredible amount of time, but if we take that off, we can see that we can look inside, and maybe we'd add a shelf right there and another shelf there, and this would have some lighting in it, and that's what this button here is for. It's like a little hidden light button. But it would have LEDs throughout and there, and an LED strip within here so that you'd be able to see the display items inside as well. It probably took me maybe 3 or 4 hours to design that. Next one I want to show you is a deck I did about a couple years ago, and this was the original one. And this one has been it was old, it's decrepit, it just needed some love, it needed some care. So what the bigger things were with this is where the stairs are. So you can tell this one is 8.5 inches. That's not even to code. Code is 11 inches, by the way. So we made those wider on that new set of stairs, and we copied the neighbors that she liked so much. And then right in here, it was slippery because water was dripping there. It was slippery in here and down each of the steps during winter months where it would ice over, and whenever it rained. So whenever she takes her dog out often, so she'd have to open this gate and walk down and walk all the way back over here. And that was just a lot of work. And right here it gets muddy. She's got pine needles spread throughout here. So what we wanted to do is extend the deck out this way. So leave the same footprint except extend it out about 4 feet or so, and put the gate to where it would be easy for her to get in and out of here instead of avoiding the gate whenever you're walking through it. Still keeping the privacy on the back end over here. Now the steps need to be 11 inches, and those are right at 16.5 inches there. So plenty of foot space for put a handrail going down this side so that she could have help getting in and out of there and even maintain privacy again. And then put a handrail here throughout so that whenever she is walking over these pine needles in this area, because it is sort of a garden that she's extended around this way, no bushes or anything, just something that she likes to see there is the pine needles. So she walks through those while she takes her dog going around back the house here, but also to help her get back up on there and assist with any kind of slipperiness throughout as well. Next one I'll show you guys is one that we were working on today. This is the most recent project of potential client's house, and her deck right now, yeah, there it is. Her deck right now, let's say there's some railings here, this represents the stairs, some windows as well, but she's wanting a covered porch. So the model that we've made up is for a covered porch, and it does look unsymmetrical, or asymmetrical rather. There's not a lot of symmetrical attributes to this, which really bugs me. But again, this is just a rough kind of outline right now. It's not a finished product. This is so we can talk about what it looks like and what is rolling through each of our heads right now. And once we get to talking about this, it'll be about what we can do, some plausible alternatives, some measurements about what we can be dealing with, and what's available, you know, these kinds of things. And it allows us to communicate. There's tools here that allow us to communicate, and that's what SketchUp does for us. We would be using screen-ease on this porch as well. So what that means is, if you've never looked into the screen-ease system, it's a wonderful thing. I highly suggest it instead of the spline system. But really, each one of these cavities that have been built into the deck would be covered by a screen instead of going so many feet and, you know, putting some trim up, putting the spline in, and all this other kind of mess. It's really super easy and clean system. The next one that we're going to, this house, we're looking at putting windows in, and so we've got a few windows set off here to the side. These are the ones that are in it right now. We're playing with, you know, making these window openings larger so that it'll accommodate two or a double unit there with the double hungs. And the idea is to make these openings larger so that when you're looking out into the driveway in this direction, you have more viewing space and you can see more. Another thing we're talking about is putting something like this as an addition to the home. So it would be a built-in bay window of sorts. So while this will be a picture window flanked with two double hungs as the dining room area, now we have this bay window that adds a little bit of square footage, but also adds a lot of character to the home as well. This is a deck that we've been looking at doing. Now, one thing I did want to point out is this is only a snapshot of the area, as is the deck that we were talking about a little bit ago. It's not the whole house. We don't need to talk about that. So all we're doing is talking about the deck area, and allows us to really focus on one specific area and talk about certain things. And as I've outlined here, you know, the roof line goes up here, it goes down there, and there's a stairway that kind of leads down in this direction. That's what that diagonal represents. So again, it's just to kind of capture a snapshot of it over here, but then, you know, we get to talk about everything in detail. So this is the deck now. It's got the railings that are just really worn out. The deck's worn out. The posts really are worn out. So everything really needs to be changed. And this is what we've been talking about, going to a covered deck area. So we do half of it as a covered deck, and that reflects a gable end here. You got some timber frame inspired beam supports here and along each one to add some pretty stuff to it, to add some really nice aesthetics. And we've been looking, and I don't think we have, this is a 13-foot span right here. I don't think we have a screen that large, so we'd actually have to bring this post down and make it so we can put a screen here and a screen there, again with a screen-ease system. I'm all over the screen-ease system stuff here, y'all. There would be a screen door that goes here that leads out and directly in line with the staircase over here. And one last thing I'd like to talk about is these are hog wire panels, and they're made of steel, I believe, galvanized steel, so they withstand the elements, but they provide a better aesthetic than does wood spindles or balusters, that kind of thing. So you get a lot more out of your deck. And one of the last things I want to talk about is the shop here, actually. One of the things I want to do to the shop is, as you can tell, I got big plans for it. But right here, we can see this is my shop as it sits now. I would like to, you know, we got the sawmill. I'd like to put the sawmill down under this kind of breezeway kind of design and tie that into a newer building over towards the south side. So we have, you know, your windows, have a larger working area, have a place for all the tools. And here's what I like to see it as is, you know, whenever you're placing tools in here, move that up some. We can see it as a footprint kind of perspective. You know, I see got your little guy in there, little professional me standing beside my work table. Got a miter station, a heater box, a little office area, just everything that, or most of everything I would like to see in here. And I wanted to add an office upstairs, but we ain't got to that far yet. That wasn't allowing that to happen. So again, we're just playing with this. All of these are rough designs too, and it's meant to be a tool for communication and not principally what it will look like in the end. And that's really important to consider is, we can get to that point. But the question that I'll be asking you is, will it make sense for us to go to that length if that's what you're wanting done? And I'm completely for doing that. However, we would be talking, a design phase at that time, and talking about going in here and doing like a comprehensive design phase. So this would actually be part of a design phase, but it wouldn't be as comprehensive as getting things to look like they absolutely would when the project is finished. So again, this is a means for communication. This is a means for us to see eye to eye on things and make sure both of us are on the same page with what's going to go in your home or office or place of business or wherever we're talking about, and make sure that we come to an agreement and that you're going to get what you want in the end, right? And so that's why I like to use SketchUp as a tool. And if you wanted to play with this yourself, it's free on Google. I just searched SketchUp 2000. I don't know. I just searched SketchUp Make, and it gives you a free option wherever you start the program. But this is something I enjoy doing. This is something that you can expect to work with me if this is something that you're interested in and would like to move forward with. I'd love to take your dreams and put them into a model like this and do something with them. But again, I'm Richard with High Caliber Carpentry. I appreciate you joining me today. I wanted to show you something I'm passionate about, something I love to do, and something I hope can bring to your project as well. But thanks again. I hope to talk to you guys soon, and have a great week, y'all.